Now, ever since Alexander Usyk defeated Tony Bellew, and of course we all know that he's planning on moving to heavyweight, so of course I've been asking you guys over the last couple of days, who is it that you guys want to see Alexander Usyk fight on, potentially on his heavyweight debut or maybe the fight thereafter? And the list that I gave you didn't include Joseph Parker, but so many of you guys have been putting in the comment section Joseph Parker. You guys would love Joseph Parker versus Alexander Usyk. Well, David Higgins, of course, he is the manager and promoter of Joseph Parker, has said that Usyk is not in their plans. In fact, the Dillian Whyte versus Derek Chisora winner is in their plans, and this is what David Higgins had to say. The Whyte versus Chisora fight will definitely be unfinished business. Usyk, he's got more work to do to build a fan base in the UK. What I mean by that, Joshua has got a gigantic fan base. He'll fill stadiums. Dillian Whyte has proven that he can fill the O2 arena. Usyk, very impressive and clinical, but I think he's got to string together more impressive victories to build a fan base before the fight makes economic sense. From our perspective, no question, Usyk is elite, but fighting the winner of Whyte Chisora would make probably more economic sense, but also there is unfinished business. I believe Joseph on his day would beat Chisora or Whyte. A lot of people are saying that Dillian should win the fight, but you never know against Derek Chisora. People are saying that Chisora will be cleaned up by Takam, and it was an exciting matchup. And the way it finished, you can never write anyone off. I certainly wouldn't write off Derek Chisora. Whyte Chisora could go either way, and if Chisora did come through, then I'm sure our camp will happily look at Chisora. Joseph is only worrying about his next fight in December, which is Alexander Flores, a puncher with only 1 loss and 15 knockouts. It's a serious fight, but I'm looking at Whyte Chisora. From our perspective, the winner would make an exciting matchup. So that is Higgins' statement. So, okay, he wants a rematch with Dillian Whyte, unfinished business as he called it. But for me, I think that yes, I'll be interested in watching that fight again. I think it's a great fight, and we know that both of these guys will come to war again. The first fight was absolutely fantastic. I loved that fight, and it was ups and downs all through the fight, but I felt that Dillian Whyte won that fight quite comfortably and became the very first person to legitimately knock down Joseph Parker. He did rough up Joseph Parker, and I know that Higgins and Kevin Barry, which is Joseph Parker's trainer, were complaining about the fact that the head clash, which sent Joseph Parker down to the canvas for the first time, played a big part in how the rest of the fight went. They blamed the referee, saying that it shouldn't have been a knockdown, and it played on the mind of Joseph Parker. But as a professional and as a fighter, I felt that Joseph Parker should have overcame that. Okay, he's got a reputation as being very, very mentally headstrong, and he is very, very headstrong. I know he is. But in that moment, if they want to blame that, that's a bit of weakness from my point of view. And I think Joseph Parker is an exceptional fighter. On his day, he could beat most of the heavyweights out there and put him in with Wilder. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I believe Joseph Parker beats Wilder. I don't think Wilder can knock out Joseph Parker, and he can't beat him on points. So I don't see a way of Wilder beating him. But listen, that's all about stylistic matchups, okay? But for him to totally write off, well, it's not him, it's Higgins writing off Usyk to say he's got no fan base. Well, that's not true, because he's just won the World Boxing Super Series. That in itself has created a huge fan base here in the UK and across Europe, okay? And now he's beaten Tony Bellew, a pay-per-view headliner. Whether people agree with that or not, he is legitimately a pay-per-view headliner. He not only beat Bellew, but he knocked out Bellew. So now he's got a huge fan base here in the UK. So, I mean, if Higgins is thinking about Parker fighting on UK soil, listen, Parker against Usyk can sell here in the UK. It can sell here in the UK. And I don't think that Higgins should be relying on Usyk having to go through Dillian Whyte, go through Derek Chisora, go through Anthony Joshua, all of these kind of guys in order to get Joseph Parker. If Joseph Parker wants this, for me, an Usyk fight should not be ruled out. And him targeting the winner of Whyte Chisora, for me, it's going to be Dillian Whyte. But you know what? You never know, right? But on paper, you would certainly favour Dillian Whyte. But to get a rematch with Dillian Whyte straight away, while I would like that at some point, maybe not just yet. I'd like to see a few different names on both their resumes before they ultimately come together for a clash again. I think it's too early. So why not go fight Usyk? It's a great matchup. It's a very, very good matchup and very difficult to pick a winner in that one. And a very, very sellable sellable fight. And yes, it can be done here in the UK. Alexander Usyk is part of Matchroom, and if Joseph Parker was to fight on UK soil, he will be part of Matchroom. I think Eddie Hearn has some kind of options on him here in the UK, whereas I think Bob Arum has options on him in the US. But anyway, I think Parker versus Usyk shouldn't be ruled out. That's just my opinion, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys in the comment section will also agree. But yeah, he is right. He does have a fight coming up on December the 15th at Christchurch in New Zealand, after back-to-back defeats to Anthony Joshua for a unification fight, and then a very, very difficult fight against Dillian Whyte, where again you see a lot of people say that they'd like to see the rematch because of the 12th round, because Joseph Parker came on strong in the 12th round, but he kind of went missing at times throughout the rest of the fight, which is kind of why I'm saying not yet. As much as I would love it, and you know, I love Joseph Parker, and I'm certainly a huge fan of Dillian Whyte as well, and I'd love to see the fight again, but not yet. That's just my opinion. I think that these guys need to go a different route for now and ultimately come together again at some point. So anyway, that's my thoughts. You drop me yours. I'll leave that article in the description box. Go have a read of it, all that kind of good stuff. So click that thumbs up, drop yourself a comment and subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.